Imagine this. Your team is growing and your business is scaling, but repetitive tasks like reference checks, scheduling, and admin are slowing you down. Here's the truth. Business leaders don't care about the behind-the-scenes tech. They're buying because of what it delivers. What matters is outcomes, saving hours of work every week, cutting costs that you can measure, and freeing your team so they can focus on growth. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you today. In this video, I'm going to do 3 things. 1, a live demo of a voice AI agent running a real reference check and instantly generating a polished report in Google Docs. 2, a breakdown of the cost savings and the ROI so you can see the financial impact clearly. And 3, how you can take the first step to implement this in your own business. If you're new to the channel, I'm Mike. I help businesses worldwide implement AI voice systems that save time and cut costs, and let your team focus on what matters. If you'd like to explore how we can do the same for you, use a link below to book a free AI consultation meeting, limited to 2 spots per video. So if you're serious about saving time and money, grab one before they're gone. Now let's dive into the demo. Okay, so this is part 1, the live demo. We are now in my ref checker form webpage. I will leave a link to this in the resources section, but I'm using tally.so for the web form. And we're going to fill out this form, and then the agent is going to give me a call on my phone. Here we go.
Of course. I'm an AI voice agent calling you because Ted Jones is considering a job with our client. You were listed as a reference, and I understand you were their manager at Dynaflow. I'd like to ask 5 quick questions to better understand their suitability for the role. Is now a good time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. First, could you describe areas where Ted excelled?
Ted was a great sales manager. He delivered fantastic results.
Thank you. What are the key things that motivate Ted?
Ted was motivated by money and team collaboration.
Got it. What are some areas where Ted could improve?
Ted was overly ambitious. He could take the weekends off every once in a while.
Thanks. Would you rehire Ted? Why or why not?
Yeah, absolutely. He was a great team player and he delivered results.
That's all I need. Thank you for your answers. I'm sure Ted will appreciate your time. Thank you again. Goodbye.
Okay, so we can move into the executions. So this will be the first. I'm just going to show you the executions in N8N very quickly. This is for today. So you'll see the first webhook, and we can see. All right, so we are in the second workflow, the N8N workflow. This is where the information has come from the agent into N8N for our processing. And we're down at the bottom of the webhook where we can see the actual results and the data that was delivered through the agent. So we can see here in the first question, which is called excelled, it says Ted was a great sales manager and delivered fantastic results. So this is verbatim what I told the agent and then what the agent is sending to N8N. Second, motivators, motivated by money and team collaboration. 3, improvements, overly ambitious, could take more time off on weekends. And the 4th question is rehire. Yes, absolutely. He was a great team player and delivered results. So these are the answers that I gave the agent verbatim, and then the agent has sent this information into N8N. And then if we go into the Docs section, Google Docs, we can see already a report has been created called Reference Report Ted Jones. And then we click into that and we can see the report here. Now at the top, it's candidate Ted Jones, relationship manager, company Dynaflow. So this is the information for the client. The client can read this very clearly that the candidate is Ted Jones, and the relationship with the reference is that this person was Ted Jones' manager and they both worked together at Dynaflow. Executive summary. Ted Jones has proven to be an outstanding sales manager, consistently delivering remarkable results. His motivation is driven by financial incentives and a strong preference to teamwork, making him a valuable asset to any team. So the interesting thing about the results that have been produced in the report is, although I said this verbatim, the AI has actually improved what was said. It hasn't changed any of the content. It's just made the content a little bit more compelling for the client and the recruiter. In the key strengths section, we have 3 points. 1, excelled as a sales manager, delivering fantastic results. 2, demonstrated excellent collaborative skills within a team dynamic. 3, highly motivated by financial success. So again, the motivators here say motivated by money and team collaboration. So the person giving the review or the reference person just has to say a very quick line, and then the AI will do the heavy lifting and extrapolate that information into 3 main points so the client can read that and understand that the candidate's strengths are quite good in comparison to the job. And then the question of areas to develop, one needs to balance ambition with adequate rest by taking more time off on weekends. So again, if we go back into the outputs by the way, this is the webhook node of the first workflow. We can see here, overly ambitious, could take more time off on weekends. And then finally, rehire recommendation, yes, absolutely. He was a great team player and delivered results. So everything was said there correctly. And this was put together in a really compelling report. So the interesting part about all of this is that the agent called the reference gave his answers, and then the AI did the rest. The AI did the heavy lifting. So that's where you're going to save time and money, is when the AI does the heavy lifting, doing the reference and creating the report. Great. So if you have any questions on this, just leave a comment below. Also, if you like what you've seen so far, just click this link on my YouTube. This will take you to my Calendly, and you can book a meeting with me. It's a free AI consultation meeting. Just click on the Calendly, click a date, then click a time, click next, put in your name, your email, and a reason that you want to meet, and then just click schedule event, and you and I can meet up, and I can walk you through this demo, or I can actually go into a more detailed AI audit to understand your business and how you can save time and money using AI. Perfect. Let's move on to the next part of the video where we look at the cost savings. Fantastic. This is part 2 of the video where we go deeper into the cost savings that you can realize from AI voice agents, and specifically from my reference checking agent, which I've created for you today. So if you have not done so already, make sure that you like and subscribe to my videos. It really helps, because when people like my videos, that notifies the YouTube algorithms that this video is useful and valuable, and I get shown to more people, and more people get to benefit from the value that I'm providing. So thank you very much for your patronage there. So we're looking at a Dynaflow.ai voice agent AR calculator, which I created for you, just to show you the type of cost savings that you as a recruiter, or you as an agency owner, or you as a TA person, or a TA manager, or an HR department head can realize from implementing AI voice agents, and specifically in this video, a reference check agent, which will automate the entire process and create a report for you in the process. So I will leave a link to this calculator in the resources section. Just check in the description, you'll be able to find that. But starting at the top, it says voice agent ROI calculator. ROI is return on investment. And then it says calculate your company's potential savings with Dynaflow's AI voice agents. Okay, so in the top left, I'm going to go through the parameters of the calculator first, and then we'll just quickly look at the cost savings so you can see how much money you're not only saving, but then starting to make by implementing this automated AI voice reference checking agent. So top left, daily calls. So let's say you or your team are making 150 calls a day. So, if you've got 10 people on your team, that's only 15 calls a day. If you're an absolute machine on the phone, and you're making 150 calls a day, we could jack these numbers up. But let's just say for you or your team, you're making 150 calls a day. I know that's a lot. Probably that's more than most make, but let's just say this is a team for now. Calls employee per day, 80 calls per day by the employee on average, and then the average time is 4 minutes on the phone. Reference checks can actually take much longer than this. Reference checks can take sometimes up to 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, really depending on the reference. So one thing that this agent and this calculator will show you is the amount of time that can cut in terms of making sure that the reference saves times, because you heard in the demo, it's very succinct, it's very concise, there's no space in between, there's a lot of time saved here just through the actual agent doing the call instead of you, the human. Analysis months, so this is going to be a cost analysis over 12 months. Now in the cost parameters section, annual employee costs, let's put that at 75,000. This is USD. So each person on your team is costing a salary of around $75,000 per year, which in my honest opinion is about average. But, for a good recruiter or a good TA person, it's actually going to be like double that. So these numbers are a little bit modest in that way. The setup fee is going to be $10,000. So this is the fee that I would charge you, your company, to set this up for you. And again, that's a pretty low fee. You'll see why when we go into the cost savings. And then top right, AI price per minute. So this is the cost that the AI is costing you per minute. So you are going to incur monthly costs on this for all the systems that we implement, and we can get into the details there. If you want to know the breakdown of the AI costs, just leave a comment in the section, or again, go to my Calendly, click this link and book a meeting, and we can go through those costs and break down that analysis for you. Billing days per month. So this is 22 working days in the month, and then plan minimum $150. So we can see here that this has all been calculated. And then if we go into the top, this is the cost analysis section. So in month one, without AI, it's costing you $12,500. With AI. So this is the setup fee, $10,000. So already you're saving $2,500 per month by implementing this. By month two, this is the second row. The cost with AI goes down to $1,500, and then your monthly savings is going to jump up to $10,000 per month with these settings. And then you can see the cumulative savings section on the right-hand side is going to start increasing. You're going to go from month one to $13,000 to month two to $24,000. By month 12, $133,000 you're saving your company with these settings on the left-hand side. So that's a lot of money. So just by implementing this very powerful and very scalable reference checking AI agent, you are realizing extreme cost savings. Now, if we look at the cost comparison chart down on the bottom right here, we can see the cost of implementing reference checks with your employees as the settings the way they are, that we set them up, about $14,000 per month. And that's just a straight across line. Now, with the automated AI voice agent, reference checking agent, the costs are going to be about $10,500 at the start. That's my cost essentially. But then immediately after month one, these costs jump down to basically $1,500 a month. And that's just a straight line across, right? So your human costs are staying up above $14,000, but implementing this agent after month one, maybe after month two, three max, you're getting down to $1,500 a month. So that's how we get up to $133,000 over a 1-year period. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, if you think this is interesting, I'll leave a link to this calculator in the resources section. Check it out. You can adjust these numbers to you, your team, or your company. And again, if you're interested in finding out how we can implement this agent for your business, click on my Calendly, book a meeting, let's get connected, and let's get this going. Okay, per the plan, this is part 3 where we do a walkthrough of the agent. So we have already done a live demo. We went through the cost savings, which as you saw were pretty extreme. And now in part 3, we're going to do a walkthrough of the agent. Also, if you're interested in how I built this, probably in my next video, I'm going to do a full build from beginning to end from scratch. So if you're a techie out there and you're interested in doing that, leave a comment in the comment section, like the video. And, if I get enough likes and enough interest, I'll do a full build version video of this agent. So we are now in the flowchart section of this agent, which I built. So this is a flowchart that will demonstrate how this agent works from a high level architecture perspective. I guess I'm an architect. Now at the beginning, we have the web form. So you saw in the demo, the user, the recruiter, or the TA person fills out the web form for the reference, and that gets filled out here. So candidate info submitted via the web form. We're using tally.so for the web form. I'll show you the walkthrough in a minute here. And then from there, we go into the first N8N workflow. We call this N8N1. And here you can see data flows into N8N workflow 1, which sends it to Retail AI. So once the information from the form gets sent into the N8N1 workflow, that goes into a webhook. And then that gets sent as what we call dynamic data into Retail AI. So then it goes into our agent, which is Retail AI. We're using Retail AI as our front-end voice orchestration platform, which handles the voice, the actual voice itself, the text to voice, the voice to text, and also some other settings. You can set it up however you want. It's very customizable, and you can also create tools and functions, which we'll get into in a minute here. But anyway, it goes into Retail AI. So you can see here, Retail AI conducts the reference check. So that's the actual voice, the agent speaking to the reference, doing the reference check. And then the reference provides that information. And then after that, in the flow here, that information gets sent to the N8N second workflow. Let's call that N8N2. And again, we'll go in, I'll show you these workflows, the agent, after we go through the flow chart here. So the results from the flow into N8N2, workflow 2 for processing. So it gets processed. So it gets sent from Retail AI via a function into the second workflow into a webhook. And then now we have the information from the web form in our second workflow. We can process that information. We can process that data. We can manage it. We can put it into an LLM, which is exactly what we're going to do. And then we're going to send that to something. We're going to do something really cool with that. So moving on in the flow, that data moves through the flow. We'll show you that in the second N8N workflow. We're using OpenAI LLM to process that data. And then that data is going to be sent to Google, into Google Drive, and then it's going to be sent to Google Docs to create a report. This all happens automatically, magically in the background through the automation and the agent. Data is saved in Google Drive and formatted into a Google Docs report. After that, the webhook in the second N8N workflow does a respond to webhook back to Retail AI, and then the agent flawlessly says to the reference, "Hey, we're done." So that gets sent to a webhook, and then the agent says, "Hey, we're done," and then ends the call. And then the reference says, "Wow, that was super fast. That was super easy. Can't believe how that easy that was." Meanwhile, all this crazy stuff is happening in the background, and this is what the architecture looks like. All right, so if you have any questions regarding the architecture or the workflow, just leave a comment in the comment section. Please like my video. And again, if you're interested in getting this implemented for your business, click on my Calendly, go into the Calendly section, click a date, click a time, click next, put in your name, put in your email, put in a reason, and we will get connected. We're going to move into the ref check form here. This is very simple. We set up this, we're going to move quickly here, but like pause the screen if you want to screenshot any of this. The ref checker form is tally.so. It's all self-explanatory in the instructions here in the instructions section. And then we have contact information, which gets filled out. We saw that in the demo. From there, we're going into Retail AI. Retail AI, as I mentioned, is the front-end orchestration agent SaaS that we're using to handle the call and to manage the information coming in from the web form and the information getting sent from the actual person, the reference, into N8N, into the workflow. And then we have a prompt here. So at the start of the prompt, the identity is you are Jenny, a concise professional AI reference check agent. Your role is politely call listed references, ask structured questions, and capture answers. Tone, brief, human sounding, and respectful. So you can go through the whole prompt here. I actually went through this prompt in a previous video, and I'm going to go through it in detail in the full build in the next video, but this is what the prompt looks like. Then the other thing that we have set up in this agent here is a function, which is a custom function, and that's going to send this information to an API endpoint. And also we're going to use this JSON payload to capture the data from the reference call, and we're going to send that into the second reference check. But before that happens, this is the first N8N workflow. This is coming from the tally form, goes into N8N, and then that gets sent to an HTTP post, which will post that information back to N8N. So again, if we look at the workflow, if we look at the actual flow here, we're going from the form here, which is this, to N8N, which is the first N8N workflow here, okay? Then back to Retail AI, which is here, Okay, so this is the retail agent. Then we're going back to the second workflow. So now we're in the second workflow for N8N, and this is being captured. So this is the information that the reference has provided the agent, and then that's getting sent to a webhook in the N8N form here. And then that's getting sent into this first node. Then there's a custom node, which has some JSON set up here. I went through this in a previous video. I'm not going to go into details in this video. This is just a quick walkthrough, but I am going to do a full build in the next video. So that's some custom code we set up. And then the next node is Google Sheets. So this information needs to get sent into Google Sheets OpenAI. So if we go back into the workflow here, this is now we're into the OpenAI LLM part of the flow. And this is in the second N8N workflow. And that is going to take the information that we provided via the web form and then into then the reference provided the agent. And we're going to actually give the LLM some specific instructions. And here it says you are a professional reference check report writer. Write concise, client-ready prose using only the provided fields. Do not invent facts. Use clean, plain text, no markdown. Use short, concise sections with clear labels. Where data is missing, write not provided. We don't have any missing data in this particular execution. Target 150 to 250 words. So we're giving the LLM, this is a customized LLM in the workflow. This is not the retail AI agent. This is a custom LLM that we are using in the workflow, which is really where the magic happens when you're automating ref check processes or any process within the recruitment process. Is you can do this at scale. So you can set this up and then you can actually instruct this whole thing to do like 10 or 20 or 50 reference checks. And this is where the magic happens in the automation and in the AI. This is literally AI doing this. Then the next is updated documents. So this is actually creating, well, actually before that, we've created a document before the LLM, which is just creating the document and the title of the document. And then after the LLM, we are updating the document with the information which the AI has provided. And then according to the flow here, that information is getting sent to Google Drive, which is here. We can see we've set up a folder and a drive. And then in the flow, that is getting sent to Google Docs, which is creating a custom report, which will be in Google Drive available for consumption or further automation or automated publishing to the users, to the TA team, to the recruiter. And we went through this in the demo section, but you can see the report here. It's clear, it's concise, it looks good, it's ready to go. So that's the workflow from beginning to end. That's what the whole thing looks like. I hope you enjoyed this quick walkthrough. Again, we're going from web form all the way to a finished report in Google Docs with this AI voice agent ref checker. That's it. If you liked what you saw today and you're interested in implementing this for your business, either as an agency owner, either as an agent, either as a TA person, or maybe you're managing a TA team and you want to automate some of these processes, go into my YouTube channel or my website, click on the Calendly link, book a meeting, let's get connected, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for tuning in. Bye for now.